about the beautification of Washington, D.C., of America 250 celebrations. So in his mind, that's already done. There's still a suggestion that he may turn up at the signing on Friday. He's heading to the G7 right now. But it's more spin than substance. It's more, these are the headlines. We got the deal that no one else could have got.
Now, Natasha Butler is in Evian in France ahead of the G7 summit. Donald Trump is going to be landing there soon. So there's diplomatic work, Natasha, around this U.S.-Iran agreement that's going to continue from now up until it's signed on Friday. And some of it will be happening at the G7 where you are over the next 2.5 days. What are you expecting there?
Yeah, that's right. Look, there is no doubt that this agreement between Iran and the US is going to lift some of the tension in the room, if you like, at this summit, because we know that most of the other G7 allies certainly weren't on board with the US and Israel's war on Iran. And also, we might expect to see the US President Donald Trump in a better, perhaps more conciliatory or cooperative mood if he feels that he has a win on his side. There is no doubt there are still those very thorny questions that are going to be asked of him. He is going to be challenged as to what is in this deal by some of those G7 leaders, particularly because they all have a dinner this evening just after he arrives here on the shores of Lake Geneva. The French President Emmanuel Macron will also have a bilateral meeting with Donald Trump. He is one of the only European leaders to be meeting one-on-one with the US leader. France is, of course, hosting this G7, and the hosts have gone out of their way to try and make sure that Donald Trump not only stays engaged, but he stays here. And that is why France is rolling out the red carpet on Wednesday evening in Versailles for a lavish dinner at the palace there. They're hoping that Donald Trump will stay until then and not leave like he has in some previous summits, particularly in Canada. The French President Emmanuel Macron says that Europeans are certainly welcoming news of this agreement. They do want to know more. They want to know particularly what it means for the Strait of Hormuz. We heard from Macron a short while ago. He says that the UK and France's mission to try and secure the strait and enable boats and ships to go through, well, they are ready to launch that when needed, when they know more, and this eventual deal is actually signed. He also said that France, the UK and Germany are ready perhaps to lift sanctions on Iran if they know that everything in the deal is compliant with what they want to see as well. So a lot of questions, but of course everyone here at the G7, those leaders, they all know that at this stage this is only part of a deal. It's a step to a deal. So there's going to be a lot of caution as well.
Natasha, thank you very much for that. I know there's more that's going to be discussed at the G7. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is going to be there. We expect they'll talk about Russia, Ukraine. We will come back to you a little later in the program for reporting on that. But for now, we're going to stay focused on U.S. and Iran. And Donald Trump has actually just been posting and writing on his Truth Social. And he said this, quote, "Ships are starting to move. Many loaded up with oil out of the Strait of Hormuz. They're going along the Southern Highway, which is totally safe, secure, and pristine. There are other areas of travel also, President Donald J. Trump." Back to our chief U.S. correspondent, Alan Fisher, who's at the White House. Alan, a minute ago, I could see you looking down. I'm presuming you're reading the same message I just read. I'm not sure if the president is currently in the White House, and maybe that he was writing it meters away from... No, he's not. So I thought he might have been writing it meters away from where you are, but he's not.
He's in the air.
He's in the air, of course. Excuse me. He is going to be landing in France for the G7 momentarily. So Donald Trump is now advertising, as of a few moments ago, that movement has restarted in the Strait of Hormuz even before Friday's signing of a memorandum of understanding.
Well, of course, the United States will claim that the strait was never closed, and they point to the fact that Donald Trump, and Pete Hegseth made this point too, that the United States had a secret scheme that was making sure that the ships could get through the Strait of Hormuz with help of American warships. This secret plan that they actually announced is Operation Freedom, to escort ships through. So that was kind of odd. Clear that Donald Trump wants to move on. He's talking about how this will lead to lower oil prices, and certainly first thing this morning we're seeing that is actually the case. But every economic expert you speak